Oh my God, Candace, we're here. We're live.
This is
Awesome.
exciting.
No, thank you for doing that. So it's funny, even before Mike Guthrie kind of pointed me towards you, I quickly went on LinkedIn to see if we were connected, and we were. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I know this girl's name. And I just recognize your name, one, because it sticks, it jumps off the page a little bit. I'm not going to jump at how to pronounce it, but everything I watch you post is awesome. It's super supportive, whether it's Giving Back Tuesday or supporting TC. Like, I love your people in our industry, and that's why I wanted to talk to you. So
Yeah.
tell me about yourself. How'd you end up here today?
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for that really nice feedback. I appreciate it. So I started just seeing you popping through the feed just through some mutual contacts. Katie Baxlin is one that really kind of sticks out.
Oh,
And
she's amazing. Yeah.
actually, I don't remember who it was first, if I saw your stuff or
Hmm.
hers, but I just thought, wow, this is some real positivity going out there just for pipeline and
Hmm.
community. And I just really like the messaging about mental health and just
Hmm.
supporting those that are out there. And actually, Katie works at TC where I work also. So I just reached out to her. I was like, hey, I just really like your positivity, and can we just have a coffee and chat? And from there we just like became friends just over the virtually. And then I just got her kind of I convinced her to come play on as a player with the charity cup that I'm really involved with. And
Cool.
long story short, she's actually now part of the team that I work on in the land department. She's our regional land rep out west. So just kind of like that's really cool, just how that came together.
Cool.
And then yeah, I just really liked watching your stuff, and I see that you do podcasts, and then
Hmm.
I watch them, and then I connected with Mike over the summer. He asked me just sometimes to help with his motivational
Cool.
uh, word of the day kind
Hmm.
of
Yeah.
thing. And then I just saw that you were looking for people maybe to come on your podcast, and I thought, hey, I like going out of my comfort zone, so why not put my hand up and see if you wanted to talk to me and see what I do. Working in the office at a pipeline company
Hmm.
as well, and just what I do out in the community. So here I am today.
No, that's
So I'm
awesome. No,
excited to be here and
well,
excited to
you
meet you.
mentioned two really great people because I didn't really know Katie really. So we had crossed paths on a project, but through emails and through RFPs and a variety of other things because we were on different sections of the job. And so I got to know her name, and we probably communicated very briefly. And it's funny, I did the same thing. I started watching her on LinkedIn. I'm like, this girl is a wild vocal advocate for not just the project, not just for the company, for the industry, all this stuff. And she's steady putting herself out there. And I'm like, man, good for you. So I started to kind of chit chat and BS with her a little bit. And then she ended up coming to town. I'm like, get over here. Like, let's have a visit and connect or whatever. And once you've kind of connected on LinkedIn, like you and I have, once you see the person the first time, like, oh yeah, so you almost feel like you're kind of friends. You kind of know each other a little bit. So how long have you been in the energy industry?
So in April, I'll be celebrating my 20th year,
No way.
but I feel like it's been part of my life. I'm third generation working in the oil and gas in my
Hmm.
family in Alberta here. So I was born into it.
Awesome.
My grandfather, he invented products,
Hmm.
drilling fluid
Hmm.
products. So grew up just learning about that. And my uncle started a fracking company years ago, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us,
Hmm.
but actually, both of them are not. But it really just like it's part of our family.
Hmm.
My brother works for Enbridge, so and I'm at TC, so we're very oil and gas. And so
Right
yeah,
on.
so I'll be going into my 20th year in April. I'm a land administrator or
Hmm.
land analyst, and I took land administration at Olds College.
Okay.
And yeah, so I've been at TC for 10 years now. I was working at a service provider where they were my client for 3 years.
Hmm.
So TC's been part of my life for 13
Like, great
years.
company, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
Like
Yeah.
I was there for a couple of years, and then I bounced back into the project world outside of
Yeah.
it. But I still have so many friends from there, and good culture, good company, good people, all
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. So that reputation's out there for
Yeah.
sure.
And I find that because when I was working for them, when I was the service provider, they treated me so well.
Hmm.
And actually, during that time, in my journal, I wrote, I'm going to work there one day. So
Wicked.
I manifested it a bit. It was my dream to work there. And I just developed some really good relationships with people working at TC, and I really saw myself there.
Mm-hmm.
And over the last 10 years, it's beyond my wildest dreams. So
I love that. Like,
yeah,
I've talked to so many people lately who, aren't working and are looking for something. And, a lot of people I've encouraged. I said, what, slow it there right now. Maybe
yeah,
find a foxhole to hide in. And what I found is people don't want that. They don't want a paycheck. They want a company that they feel they can actively contribute to and actually, what, make a difference. And if
yes.
you're finding that, I'd say that's a gift, and I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And then just going sometimes we have in betweens
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to find that one job that just makes you so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you never know if that job in between might just bring some other kind of skills
Mm-hmm.
that you would not imagine, or creating that network, creating the relationships. I was let go in 2009 during the downturn.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, it seemed like it was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. But then it turned into one of the best because I was working just on well programs. And then I went working in the nonprofit for a while where I was volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
And that really just developed some more skills for myself. And then I went and worked at another company where
Mm-hmm.
it was just pipeline. I'd never worked on pipelines before.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where I started working on TC work. And so had I not been let go, it would not have kind of guided me to like where I am today, I believe. So sometimes those downfalls in our lives are little gifts. And I just want to share that.
No, I thank you for sharing that, because I have talked to a lot of people lately and tried to encourage people. It is a downturn. It's a tough time
Yeah.
for sure in the project world. And don't take it personally, because this is just the product of the industry we work in. But most people have shared with me, you know what? Yeah, it's hard to not take it personally.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you seem to have come through it really well, though.
Yeah. And especially in those moments, it's hard to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I recognize that. But just over time, it just gets better and easier. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just got to take that job. You got to go work at Canadian Tire or, retail. But you just develop skills that way. And you just don't give up and just be patient and just keep trying and network and do volunteer work. You never know. You can meet someone through that. And it's, you get a lot back doing that. So
that's good. No,
yeah.
I appreciate the encouragement for sure. So where did you grow up? I never asked you that.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised Calgarian.
Oh, right
so
on.
My brother and I are the first generation of Calgarians. My mom and all of her family were born in different towns in Alberta, depending where my grandfather was working at the time. And my dad's from Montreal. My mom's from Settler, but yeah, born and raised Calgarian. I love Calgary. I just lived in Olds for a couple of years when I was going to school, but I feel like Calgary's a little town. Just growing up with it expanding, and I'm Calgary all around girl.
No,
so.
and I am too. And I'm from Ontario,
Yeah.
and we bounced around too. And I told so many people that it's like, I am proud of this city and this province. And it's at the point I just tell people I'm from here. I sat down and did one of these talks. I guess it'd be 5, 6, 7 years ago now, with a guy. He has a microbrewery called. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. Oh my God, we better edit this out. Anyway, my favorite beer, and I was so happy to have it. It's called People Skills.
Yeah.
And he told me he's from Saskatchewan, but he moved here so long. He goes, yeah, I tell people from Calgary. He goes, I love this place. And I said, yeah, me too. Why is that? Like, we just met a bunch of people. We're not even related, but they think like us, and we're all like a community. There's like 1 million people here, but it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you ever envision yourself going anywhere else?
Oh gosh, no. It's funny though, in school, growing up, I always dreamed of, I think just coming in growing up in an oil and gas company in Texas. You always thought Texas too, and Houston. And I would write, like, when we had to do essays in school, like, where are you going to be in 10 years? And I really wanted to live in Houston. And I figured I'd have to get an oil and gas job doing that. But growing up, actually, my dream was to be a chef. So I was going to stay in Calgary. I was going to go to SAIT, take a culinary arts course there. But I always dreamt that I was going to just live in Houston. But now, I don't think anything that could get me to leave Calgary. So, no, I'm here to stay.
Right on, sister. Me too. It's so funny. My wife, Sweet Marie, so she thinks she's 44, 45 or so. And, she said there was a time when a lot of people, everyone's from somewhere else. And she said, for people my age and a lot of my friends, we're native Calgarians, so there's like a whole generation of people who are actually now, they're not from somewhere else. They're from Calgary, and they're very vocal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I feel that same way. No,
Yeah.
it's home. And, you go on trips, but when you're flying back and you're just seeing our beautiful skyline, it's just, something magical, especially our skyline. Nothing beats just even going to look at that,
Hmm.
at nighttime. I find it very relaxing. There's
Hmm.
a lot of times if I've had a stressful day,
Hmm.
I go for a drive and I just go, find a nice ridge in the city and look at the skyline. Like there's so many beautiful things here in the city. And, we've got the Calgary Stampede and we've got the mountains close by, and it's just I feel like it's a really nice community.
Hmm.
You feel the spirit of
For
others trying to
sure.
help each other out, and so I've been in that position before where I've needed community,
Hmm.
I've needed to use charities, and
Hmm.
so that's where a lot of my passion comes from too. If you look at my LinkedIn, I'm
I
often
have looked at it. Like,
sharing about giving back, and
hmm.
I know what it's like to need a hand up, and
Hmm.
so now I'm just in my era right now where I can give back. So, but there's nothing wrong with needing a hand up either. So,
Hmm.
and that's the thing I love about Calgary. There's so many different resources and people always trying to, help each other out. I feel
Hmm.
like it's a very small town feel in that
Hmm.
way. And I just love how we're connected here. So,
No, thank you for
yeah.
saying that about putting your hand up,
Yeah.
because that is again some of the conversations I've been having with people recently, where they've said, it's you don't realize how hard it is to ask for help,
Yeah.
and they said they don't know. You try to take your pride out of it and just try to take a deep breath and do it, but they said it's really hard to ask for help, but a lot of families do need it
Yeah.
nowadays.
Absolutely. And so I do many presentations a lot of times on
Hmm.
just like the work I do in the community. And I like to share my why.
Hmm.
But at the end of it, I always close with, it's there's something magical about being able to give back, but there's something even more magical about being able to ask for help.
Hmm.
There's been times this year where, I've been going through some things
Hmm.
and I don't try to like hide in that anymore, and I'll
Hmm.
just reach even out to a friend and say, "Hey, I'm not doing very good today."
Hmm.
And what a relief that is. But a lot of times in the past, I felt like maybe I was a burden,
Hmm.
or maybe maybe my day wasn't that bad, or, but I just want to share that with people that there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong. We have resources, we've got the food bank, we've got mental health resources. I did a lot of work with Karya this year where I
Hmm.
learned about how they provide resources for those that can't afford mental health resources. And
Hmm.
there's places out there that are on a scale. And so, reach out to friends. And, a lot of employers have like resources to utilize as well. But it's just no problem's too big or too small to just say, hey, I'm not okay.
Hmm.
And I've gotten really good at that now. I've reached out to family and I reach out to friends, and I'm having a tough day today. And
Hmm.
then it's nice. You get to like connect and talk about that with others and you feel better after.
For sure, but
Yeah.
even you having the courage, whether it's experience with age or wisdom or whatever, but even to have the courage for you to be a bit vulnerable with
Mm-hmm.
people, I think that encourages other people,
Yeah.
Candace, to say, yeah, it's okay. Well, maybe it's okay. It's like a band-aid. Once you pull it off, sometimes the floodgates open up.
Absolutely. And sometimes that's good.
Hmm.
I have an example. So we have women at TC. And so
Hmm.
I'm part of that group it's a network that we have. It's part of one of our inclusion and diversity networks and women at TC. And so last December, we were having the session on just like burnout, and it was just focused on mental health and just learning the things. And then as I'm listening to it, I realized like, wow, I'm like going through some stuff right now.
Hmm.
I'm not doing that great right now. And so I actually spoke up in that, and I just let everyone know like what was going on, and that I'm not feeling that great right
Hmm.
now. And I'll never forget like, and I'm doing way like everything is great now, but I'll never forget the afterwards, just people just sending a message.
Hmm.
Hey, you're a wonderful person, thinking of you. There was a few that just like asked me to go for coffee.
Hmm.
And actually, I'm going to be just doing a little. I've got some cards that I'm going to give to those people
Hmm.
just to let them know that, like, hey, that just like reaching out, or even 2 weeks later, just saying, hey, how's it going? It meant so much.
Hmm.
And I recognize that too. And I try to just kind of pay that forward as well. But I think just sometimes like it's just, and I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just like came out in front of like 200 people just saying like, hey, I'm not feeling that great. And but I felt better after. But it
Hmm.
was just that community of people just reaching out after, and that just meant the world to me. And so, just people giving hugs and all of that. So that's what I'd like to say to people: just reach out. You'll
Hmm.
never ever know how not alone you are. And
Hmm.
so, and then pay it forward too. And I've got I've got one of my best friends, Nicole. I work with her, and we're really good friends outside of work. And we're like a little teeter-totter. Candace is having an awesome week, and then maybe like she's not, or like vice versa. And we just kind of we talk to each other every night, talk about our days. And
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the problems is people don't talk on the phones anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
text.
Mm-hmm.
And so, call a friend and just like help one another, or sometimes just call someone out of the blue and just say, "Hey, how are things going?" It goes a long way.
I think
Yeah.
so, but again, I don't know. I mean, you might have an idea of the positive impact you're having on other people. And, I see that for some guy who didn't even really know you, Candace. I can see you putting yourself out there, and I just admire that because there's not enough of that in the world. And I'm not too sure why. I don't think people are selfish. I think it's hard.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
hard to put yourself out there. It's
Yeah.
hard to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So one thing that's come up a lot in the project world, so I am a site guy, is the concept of, being more open about mental health, advertising more in the tailgate, so on and so forth. Are you seeing the same more comfortability with opening up this conversation in the office world as
Mhm.
well?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it really take off during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in our homes, and we're not like, we're isolated, and it came just like a normal conversation. Our CEO is very like mental health, like shares just like why it's important,
Mm-hmm.
and has made it an important thing for all of us at TC.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's really spread in the office, but also in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a constant conversation. We have mental health moments at work. We have like
Awesome.
a lot of resources. We have
Mm-hmm.
a great health and safety team that is like, for instance, like we can do meditation at lunch, like it's a virtual. They have like workout classes. We have mental health day. It's everywhere, and
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. And we talk about it openly.
I love it.
And I have seen men open up more, which I think is so courageous.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen men talk about stress and anxiety, and how it's impacted their hearts, their
Mm-hmm.
health, and how they went and got testing. And they're talking about that, I think is so important, because I don't think they understand that they are, helping someone else, or maybe saving someone
Mm-hmm.
by opening up and talking about that. I've seen men in meetings talk about their struggles with
Mm-hmm.
mental health. We've done feature stories on our homepage with men talking about how they felt so uncomfortable speaking in meetings and going to meetings, and anxiety. And so I think it's really starting to become a new normal of
Mm-hmm.
talking about it. And I know that it's talked about often in our field as well, like
Mm-hmm.
in like how you mentioned the meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's as taboo anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just being able to just say, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
And I think even I think as females, like, just to ask those males in our lives, maybe
Mm-hmm.
just ask them how are they doing, and open up that conversation, make it more comfortable. And but I think it's getting a lot better.
For sure.
and
Agreed.
and also just letting people know where the resources are.
Mm-hmm.
Even, if you need to take a mental health day, that's okay. We talk about, your arm's hurting, you can't, or you're not feeling good, you're feeling nauseous, you're sick, so you're not going to go to work that day, you're not feeling well. I think the same goes to if you're just not feeling good, just take a day for yourself, and just take care of yourself, and make sure that your cup's not constantly empty either. You got to fill that up. So,
No, I appreciate
yeah.
that, but I'd say
Yeah.
you're probably describing a company or organization that is probably trying to develop and foster that very
Hmm.
positive
Yeah.
culture. So I would say, as normal as the conversation is getting out there, I said, no, it takes time, and not every
Absolutely.
company is,
Yeah.
because it takes time to build that
Yes.
culture and keep it for
Yeah.
sure.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's why I like to share what I share so much,
Mm-hmm.
like on mental health or what we're doing, social impact wise. It's not just to show, like, oh, look at what we did today. I want to influence other companies or teams or individuals to say, hey, that looks fun and easy, but look at the impact that makes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that from what I share, maybe it speaks to somebody that's on LinkedIn that has some kind of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And, they could have a fun fundraiser in their office. Or, hey, we don't have a mental health day. Hey, let's put some fun balloons in our lobby. Let's
Mm-hmm.
do this. Like, we don't have a woman at TC, or just all those kind of things. And, I think it's just, that's why I like to share it. I want to just show others how fun and easy it is, and to see that impact.
No, it
Yeah.
definitely comes through.
Yeah.
So I can tell, from your own life, there's a lot of the reasons why you do what you do in
Hmm.
terms of giving back. Are there any other people in your life, personally or professionally, that kind of supported you or encouraged you on your own journey, whether it was a mentor or otherwise?
Yeah, so I think just like growing, like in my family, I just come from like a really hardworking family, and my mom, like she's kind of like a stay-at-home mom, but had a day home, which I never really realized how hard that is until
Mm-hmm.
I had a little one of myself. So, and then my dad, like he was a welder,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still working. He's superintendent at a steel shop here in Calgary, and I think he's been at the same company for 45 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say like my parents definitely really
Cool.
looked up to them. My mom, she just worked her way from being a stay-at-home mom, having a day home, to like working at Walmart, to the vendors really liked what she was doing, so they hired her on. Like I just saw her work up the ladder,
Mm-hmm.
just from hard work and
Mm-hmm.
just being herself. So I think she was probably the biggest mentor and role model for myself. And then she went into the candy business, and that's where kind of my
Cool.
candy fundraising came from. So definitely though, and my dad, he always just gave me great advice, like never like burn a bridge, and sometimes you're gonna get jobs that you just don't enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't show it, just like put your all in. And
Mm-hmm.
over the years, like sometimes I just have a photocopy job and I just made the best of it, and
Mm-hmm.
just so I would definitely say my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I just have some others like just throughout my career. I would have to say Mark Bradley. I worked with him at the service provider, and
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that hired me on at TC, and he was a great person to work with. And so I give much thanks to him for
Mm-hmm.
where I've come today. And I work under strong female leadership.
Cool.
And yeah, like my managers, she's amazing, and our director and our VP. And so I honestly, like, I really look up to them, and
Mm-hmm.
like how they encourage me to like do what I'm doing. And Mike Prosey is another one that stands out. He's real. I don't know if you've seen him on LinkedIn, but
I don't
I
know if
would
I have.
definitely recommend following him.
Okay.
He's very much into innovation. He's
Mm-hmm.
like an innovation wizard. And so he's got a great network. But in the past 2 years, he kind of like helped me realize
Mm-hmm.
how I could be innovative and bring things to the. I tend to be kind of like not very serious, and sometimes I think that's maybe not like a good thing professionally. But he taught me how that being myself is actually like my kind of like talent,
Mm-hmm.
and just like we should all be our authentic selves. And what I was doing did mean something
Mm-hmm.
in the business world. So, and he taught me like innovation. And I've got like, and then there's Jenna Gates, or Jenna Prosey, actually, his wife, who worked in this social impact at TC. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of really looked up to her and give a lot of thanks to where I am today too. So, but there's so many.
I
It's
know
hard
that.
to like, you don't want to leave anyone out,
I
but
know.
definitely they made a big impact to me over the years, those people. So
Have you had the chance to kind of take that support and kind of give it back to the younger people coming up behind you?
oh yeah, so I feel so lucky. Our students and new grads, I always forget what they're called exactly, but it's like students at TC, like there
Mm-hmm.
are interns and new grads. And actually, for the last 2 years, they come to me and ask, Candace, do you have any volunteering opportunities that we can do? Can we do some of the fundraising with you? So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I just worked with two gals, Shanzay and Josiah. They helped
Mm-hmm.
us with our wine survivor for Hockey Helps the Homeless in our charity cup, and they did an amazing job. Now
Mm-hmm.
they're like they're part. I call it Candy's crew now, and so I'm building this little operation just to continue with the fundraising and volunteering. It's just a lot to coordinate, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of like starting to like bring in this younger generation for their ideas and their enthusiasm, and just having them part of my team. So I kind of help them with that, and they love getting involved. So we've got some new grads coming in the spring too. So I'm excited to get them looped in with some of the things that we have going on. But I'm constantly going for coffee with them, and just bringing them on and teaching them. I was lucky enough to mentor a summer student in the
Mm-hmm.
summer, and teach her a lot of things from the land admin side. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so yeah, I like working with the younger generation. They're awesome.
That's amazing. So, what would you envision your life at had you not gone down this energy
Yeah.
road? What would that look like for you? Do you think?
I would like to think I would be some executive chef in one of our cool hotels here in Calgary. So that, or have a restaurant. That was like my first dream, was to be a chef. Or I started cooking at 12, like making my own recipes and all that. So I would say I'd be doing that. But yeah, I really like where other things guided me this way. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How wild is it for you to see where Calgary's come as a town, as a kid,
Yes.
basically, to where it is now?
Yeah, like I would never have thought it would be so technologically savvy, and
Mm-hmm.
like with all the new, like with AI and like
Mm-hmm.
all the warehouses we have for delivery, and like with that, like it's just wild. Like all the industries, like
Mm-hmm.
we hit all the industries
Mm-hmm.
here. We're sought out medically, we're sought out for technology, and we're known for more than just oil,
Mm-hmm.
gas, and back in the day, big oil. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it's pretty cool to see what kind of opportunities are here.
Mm-hmm.
Like definitely the land of opportunity is here in Calgary. So
Strongly agree.
yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much, but if you would just share some support and encouraging words for people, what would you say to them, the people who are out there struggling right now, looking for work and trying to get through it?
Yeah, so just be patient. Just network. Just connect with people. LinkedIn's a good source. Like
Mm-hmm.
just follow and comment on people's feeds, maybe. But just be patient. Reach out to friends. Reach out. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have nothing to lose. Like even if you haven't talked to that person in a while, just like reach out. But just be patient. And like I said before, sometimes like those tough times are like hidden little treasures for us later in the road. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I want to acknowledge that the holidays are exciting, but they're also tough times for many people. So just be easy on yourselves at this time. It's times where we can't spend the holidays with our loved ones that have maybe passed on, or blended families, or
Mm-hmm.
what have you. Sometimes it doesn't bring up like pure happiness, but try to find those little joys where you can. And yeah, so just wishing everyone a great 2024 and an amazing 2025. And just thank you for having me here today. So,
You're
yeah.
the best. So nice to meet you, Candace.
Thank you.